Welcome to an overview of St. Louis area movie theaters and drive-ins from 1940 to 1949. 1940. The Fox Theater sells 80,000 tickets to the Bob Hope and Jerry Colonna and the radio troupe in a week starting July 6th. The Laclede Theater opens on March 23rd. The Drive-In Theater in Des Peres was opened by Smith Management, later known as General Cinema, on May 24th, marking it as the first drive-in theater established in the area. The Roxana Theater in Alton, Illinois opens. The Gaiety Theater in East St. Louis, Illinois opens. The Compton Theater became the Park Theater. These theaters closed in 1940. (1941) The Shenandoah Theater is rebuilt in an Art Moderne style, opening in April. The Temple Theater in Alton, Illinois is torn down after a fire. The Maffitt and Park Theaters closes in 1941. (1942) The Old Mikado Theater reopens as the Victory Theater on February 26th. Com Theaters opens the Brentwood Theater in Brentwood on March 14th. The Merry Widow Theater reopens on March 20th. The Green Valley Drive-In Theater in Godfrey, Illinois for one season only. The East St. Louis Drive-In Theater is opened by Balaban and Katz. The Garrick Theater starts to show adults-only movies December 25th. The Avalon Theater is sold to Fanchon and Marco Theaters. The Ivanhoe Theater is sold to Com Theaters. (1943) The Loews Orpheum reopens on January 28th. The Maffitt Theater is reopened by Fanchon and Marco. 1944. A fire in the rear of the Gem Theater in St. John caused a part of the roof to collapse, causing $60,000 in damage on August 24th. These theaters are sold by Best Schulter to St. Louis Amusements, Fashion, and Markin, who operated these theaters. The Globe Theater became the DeCarver Theater for Afro-Americans. The Wellston closes on April 4th after a fire. 1945. The Wellston Theater is reopened by Fanchon and Marco Theaters on November 7th. The Hollywood Theater became the Hollywood Newsreel Theater on December 8th. These theaters closed in 1945. 1946. The Gem in St. John reopens with Stagehands picking the theater on January 16th. The Aubert Theater reopens on January 16th. The Hollywood Newsreel Theater became the World Theater, showing adult movies on October 4th. On December 25th, Fanchon and Marco renamed the Florissant Theater to the Tower Theater. The Ritz Theater in Belleville renovated and enlarged by Back Theaters. These theaters closed in 1946. 1947. The 66 Parkin Drive-In Theater in Crestwood opens on September 26th. The Highway Theater in Crystal City opens. The Air Park Drive-In Theater at Highland, Illinois opens, featuring fly-in facilities. The Robin Theater closes. 1948. The Ronnie's Drive-In Theater in Sappington is opened by Warenberg Theaters on July 15th. The North Drive-In at Moline Acres is opened by Warenberg Theaters on September 17th. The Airway Drive-In at St. and is opened by Smith Management on September 23rd. The Savoy Theater became the Crest as Fanchon and Marco Theaters reopens it on October 14th. The Barracks Theater at Jefferson Barracks opens. The Kent Theater in Granite City, Illinois opens. The 66 Parkin at Crestwood taken over by Warenberg Theaters as their first drive-in. The Cherokee and Dakota Theaters is closed by Warenberg Theaters. 1949. A tornado blew off the roof of the Roxana Theater in Roxana, Illinois. It was repaired after. The Skyview Drive-In in Belleville, Illinois is opened by Boomer Amusements on July 8th. The Lions Theater in Troy, Illinois opens. The Altwood Drive-In Theater in Wood River, Illinois opens. The Midtown Theater in Wood River, Illinois opens. The Mounds Drive-In Theater in East St. Louis, Illinois opens. These theaters closed in 1949. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe for more.